All right, just finished the commentary. Hope you guys love it. Let's get into it.
So, for this Jiu-Jitsu highlight breakdown, we're going to go over this video titled The Modified Kimura, where I did this crazy Kimura into a Ultra Kimura. That's what it's called in the 10th Planet System. But a lot of you guys will know it as the Tariqa Plata when you throw your leg over to get the finish. So let's go over my mindset, what I was thinking about. Let me break this down. Now, to be clear, some people are asking what was he trying to do. Literally a few seconds before this clip, I put him in a guillotine. So he was trying to give it back to me. That's kind of the culture of my gym. When you do something to us or to each other, we try to give it back to you. So let me show how I defended this right here. I was able to regain my guard, but he still had his arm under my chin. Now, something a lot of people don't do is now that you see I have separation, this is when I begin to try to go for the submission. A lot of people will try to progress or do something while being choked. I do not understand this. When you're being choked, first attack the choking hand before you progress. It seems simple to me, but people don't do it. Now that we have this established, that's when I began to say, okay, what can I do with this? And I began going for the Kimura. Now, the way the Kimura works, always remember that once you have wrist control, all you need is to take your extra arm, the one that's not doing wrist control, and it needs to connect to your wrist. So this is what you guys are going to see. Always remember with Kimuras, when you're controlling someone's wrist, all you have to do is go around their shoulder, under their armpit, and grab your own wrist. This is what you see me doing right here. Now, this is a very, very important part. What I personally like to do when I'm finishing Kimuras is I like to keep the person's hand next to their back because I can, it sounds bad, I can crank as far as I can without hurting them. But when their hand starts going away from their back, kind of like this is when I get scared. I have wonky shoulders, and I don't want anyone to ever experience that. So I'm staring at this, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And you're going to see in a second, he's going to start rolling. So what I decided to do was go for a Tariqa Plata by also protecting him by catching him with my leg. And he's already rolling, so luckily I'm flexible enough. This was just to stop him from maybe, I don't know where it was going to go. I'm just telling you right now. I just knew that I could hold his entire body with my leg and get the finish at the same time. So now that's when you see me slide up and I go directly for the Tariqa Plata. And this was the whole thought process. I didn't know it was going to, be this clean, kind of patting myself on the back. But the whole reason why it ended up like this was I was actually trying to protect him. But as you can see now, his hands is close to his back. And it looks really brutal, but it's actually incredibly safe. Okay, so now that we got that part out the way, you understand what we're doing. This is a bonus part of the highlight breakdown. I'm going to quickly, or at least try my best to explain how a Tariqa Plata is executed. So we're going to start off here when I have the figure 4 grip. The figure 4 grip is the standard way to finish every single Kimura. Now, with the Tariqa Plata, you're using your legs as a figure 4 because sometimes maybe the person is too strong, and I would highly recommend doing this against someone who has a very annoying grip. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your leg and you're going to throw it on top of that figure 4 grip, just like this. Now, this is bonus footage. I do have and plan to make other actual better explanations of the Tariqa Plata. But for those who want to try this right now, since we're here, let me kind of explain how it works. Now, we're going to zoom in a little bit, and I want you guys to see that figure 4 grip, my right hand, now that I have my leg on top of his arm, I'm going to let that right hand go. The right hand is the one that's on my wrist. So the hand that's controlling my wrist, I'm going to let that go in order to prop myself up. This is improvising, but it's still all the same thing. Now, as I'm beginning to prop myself up, as you guys see here, this is very Oh my gosh, this is so important. This position right here is where every Tariqa Plata will usually end up finishing at. You see, I have an armbar grip. Look at my left hand. It's in the armbar grip. This is such a great position for you guys to be able to see it. I'm going to take my left hand and I'm going to grab my thigh. If you do not know how to do an armbar, you should not be trying the Tariqa Plata. You need to know how to do an armbar to do the Tariqa Plata. All my left leg is going to do is it's going to scoot in. And I kind of just, like, you see I'm kind of perched up, but usually typically that left hand will be grabbing your thigh and your left leg will do the rest of the work. And lastly, to be clear, what I mean by your leg is going to do the rest of the work, if you look at my left leg, the direction of where your leg is pointing to is where you can rotate. So in theory, I can keep rotating and just rip his entire shoulder out the socket, but we're not doing that here. And yeah, I hope I gave you guys the explanation of my thought process and maybe some insight on how to finish the Tariqa Plata. This was just one of the best angles to finish it, so that's kind of why I tried to go over the finishing mechanics. But I hope I didn't ramble too much. I recorded this like 2 different days, so I don't know which parts I probably repeated myself. But thank you for watching this. I hope this deeply helped you guys.